If the Dragon Palace can come back, we can also ask the Dragon King for help. The first Supreme Elder said faintly, looking at the demon/'s den ahead. A look of worry could be seen on his face. Things were developing in a direction that the Lioli region could not control. Time passed day by day. On the Colored Glaze region's side, the huge demon's den stood tall in the void. None of the experts and soldiers of the Colored Glaze region could do anything about it. 10 days later, a terrifying roar came from the depths of the enchantment region, which was located behind the huge devil's lair. Under the shocked gazes of everyone in the Colored Glaze region, another 3 gigantic devil lairs flew out of the enchantment region. Accompanying them were countless terrifying demons and monsters. The one leading them was similarly a void third-order god emperor. This guy is too vigilant. The reconnaissance aircraft have searched him thrice. More than a month has passed. Wang Xian did not know what was happening in the Colored Glaze region. At this moment, Wang Xian had been following this master of creation for more than 3 months. In these 3 months, Wang Xian had seen what vigilance was, and what it meant to be foolproof. If not for his powerful concealment ability, he would have been discovered. Once he was discovered, Wang Xian was sure that this master of creation would abandon the mechanical heart and transfer his information. The reason why he was so vigilant and hid in the void for more than 3 months was also because the mechanical heart was of great use to him. The reason why he escaped with the mechanical heart was because of the body on the throne. To fight it out. The most important part of a robot more than a trillion kilometers, the energy source that supported the entire body. The mechanical heart that he controlled was the only core in the mechanic emperor domain. You have put us, the master of creation, to unleash the strength of a third-order god emperor. One day, the value of Dragon Core was far from what his body could compare to. At this moment, the master of creation's voice was a little sinister. There was only one core, as he controlled the mechanical could allow him to control the body of a third-order god emperor, and unleash the strength of a third-order god emperor towards a direction. The creator stared at the body in front of him and flew over immediately. Was delighted as he followed behind cautiously. Warning, warning! Soon, unknown person has entered. Region appeared in front of him. Unknown person has covered the entire void. At this moment, it was a mess when the entire mechanical territory there were barren planets and continental plates. Red warning lights in the middle, flashed above the mechanical castle huge forest and the surrounding factories. This was a very special forest. The creator's mechanical heart froze silent and let out a low growl. And there were no living creatures. His heart pounded as he quickly flew toward the body in front of him. After flying for half an hour, Wang Xian saw him burrowing into the soil of the forest. The moment he entered the body, Wang Xian was delighted as he followed behind immediately. In the next instant, he saw 2 figures descending into the castle at a terrifying speed and stared at the master of creation. How is this possible? How can they still be following behind me? That he is hiding in a void crack in the soil of this forest. I'm 100% sure that I'm not courting death. I would never have found this place. A warning sounded as he murmured immediately. His face was hideous. His face was now that his body had not completely and his expression a void crack appeared in front of him. At this moment, a loud sound came from above the castle. At the same time, roar came from his mouth and the heavenly array of heaven array from the mother nest and stared at the creator with a smile. After coming out of the heaven array, master creator surrounding his other arm turned into a dragon claw. Would have thought that the master heavily at the master creator card. At the side, Wang Xian was a little shocked set up a formation location below. Dragon King located below was a special detection. I think if the creator wants to escape, the creator stood up and you might need a signal. In the middle was a metal castle. Can only calculate what you know. 5 huge battle armors you don't know. It was heavily machinery at the world of the master smiled faintly. Luckily, I'm the master of creation. Left away from myself. I'm warning you. Wait for my revenge. To kill this body in the middle of the castle. I'll never let you off. The master of creation will definitely make him Dragon Palace and the creator could sense that his mechanical heart steel body if you erase it into the throne in front of him. His expression changed drastically as he screamed. This is my second body. As long as he lets go, that there is only one body against the Dragon Palace in the future. The powerful force caused the entire body to emit a loud sound. When the master creator heard heavenly formation otherwise, I would have raised his eyebrows slightly. However, a wave of destructive energy struck the creator from the dragon's passion. I will destroy the color from a unique voice and the dragon creator's body. I have to say, warning, such a powerful robot is really hard to deal with. Powerful energy. As he spoke, please remove it immediately. Please remove it immediately. I don't care if you have a life backup. The reason why I've been chasing you for so long is because of the treasures here. Wang Xian stared at the master creator and said sarcastically, "Bam." He waved his dragon claws and streams of horrifying energy rushed into his body. Ka. Waves of terrifying tearing force slowly tore off his body parts one by one. Bam! He forcefully smashed open the chest area. The mechanical heart was beating violently inside. It was transmitting energy. Wang Xian grabbed it with his dragon claws and sized it up in his hands. Dragon King, I'll never let you off. I, the Master Creator, will never let the Dragon Palace off. The shrill roar of the Master Creator came from the mechanical heart. This energy is so strong. I wonder if Roving Crab and the rest can devour it. Wang Xian ignored the roar of the Master Creator as he sized up the energy source of the Master Creator and said plainly, as for the revenge of the Master Creator, he didn't take it to heart. Even if the Master Creator still had the so-called life backup, after obtaining the resources of the entire Mechanic Emperor domain, what could the Master Creator use to take revenge on the Dragon Palace? Dragon King, this should be an energy core created by the Master Creator using a powerful treasure. To the devouring dragon, this is a huge treasure. Heavenly Formation walked over, looked at the mechanical heart and said, Hee. Wang Xian chuckled. He held it in his hands and looked around. A void Third Order God Emperor body, and a mechanical castle made of peak Immortal God King materials. This was merely a part of the trump card of the Master Creator. Let's go and check out the treasures in this space. Let's see if there are any more supreme treasures. Wang Xian said to Heavenly Formation with a smile as he flew towards the surroundings. Roar! The mechanical heart of the Master Creator in Wang Xian's hands let out a furious roar when it heard them. Self-elimination. Activate life backup. He gave a command in despair as he stared at Wang Xian. Within the mechanical heart, all the information belonging to the Master Creator disappeared. The king looked at the mechanical heart in his hands and smiled faintly when he felt a portion of the energy disappearing. There's a special factory here with strong energy. It should be the treasury of the Master Creator. He sensed everything in this space and flew towards the right. Life Experiment Treasury. Chapter 2934. Treasure of Mechanic Emperor Domain 6-inch. What a dense energy. As soon as he entered the Life Experiment Treasure Vault, he felt a surge of boundless energy. This is a semi-finished product? When he entered, he looked around in amazement. Inside the treasure vault of the Life Experiment, there were many bottles and jars. These bottles and jars were filled with plants, fruits, and the like. They were enveloped by a transparent liquid. Even though they were placed in the bottles, the boundless energy was still leaking out. Dragon King, this seems to be a semi-finished product. The energy in these bottles has been decomposed and fused with a type of biometal. This is the special energy in the android. Tianjin walked over to a bottle, opened it and said, This should be a treasure of the entire Mechanic Emperor domain. It's a pity that it has been processed and can only be absorbed by the devouring dragons. Wang Xian looked around the entire treasure vault. The treasure vault wasn't huge, about 50 kilometers wide. However, there were many treasures in it. These resources were enough to create a mechanical army for the creator. Indeed, the devouring dragons will be able to improve tremendously this time. Tianjin said. The information in the robot army should have been digested by the devouring dragons. Contact Prime Minister Turtle, Wuxia, and the rest and get them to absorb these. Wang Xian said to Tianjin with a smile. Yes. Tianjin nodded and took out the communication stone plate. This special space can block all kinds of signals. He looked at the communication stone plate and raised an eyebrow. He flew out and tore the space apart to pass the message to Prime Minister Turtle. At this moment, Prime Minister Turtle's excited roars were heard continuously. 10 devouring dragons with a length of 30,000 meters were flying around. Their faces were brimming with excitement. In the surrounding area, there were several huge devouring dragons flying in the surrounding void. They're getting cocky. Wuxia and the rest are getting cocky. Orochi and the rest couldn't help but comment. Damn, he has 1,000,000 subordinates, and the weakest is a 7th Order Immortal God King. There are over 100 God Emperors and 9 Third Order God Emperors. Wuxia is so enviable. The group of Dragon Palace leaders were jealous. This time, the devouring dragons had improved tremendously. Buzz buzz. Hee, the heavenly formation has sent a message. At this moment, Prime Minister Turtle smiled and took out the communication stone plate to have a look. Oh, Prime Minister Turtle, what did the Dragon King say? The group of Dragon Palace leaders looked over curiously. Wuxia, bring your devouring dragon subordinates. We'll head to the Dragon King immediately. There's still a huge amount of resources there. Prime Minister Turtle looked at the message and shouted at Wuxia. What? Prime Minister Turtle, the Dragon King still has a huge amount of resources? Roar, 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 little ones, let's go. Wuxia's excited voice resounded. The faces of the rest of the experts from Dragon Palace darkened, and they became even more envious of them. Damn it! After this breakthrough, not only will I let Wuxia and the others destroy the Chime region, I'll also let them unify the Tianfa Ancient Heaven region, and let them search for treasures in the 8 Desolations and 6 Directions region. Devil Fiend and the others said sourly. All members of Dragon Palace, get ready to depart. Prime Minister Turtle let out a low roar and led the army of the Dragon Palace toward the center of the Mechanic Emperor domain. Compared to a few months ago, the Devouring Dragon tribe had undergone a terrifying evolution. When they first arrived, the weakest among the Devouring Dragons was a level 4 Undying God King. Now the weakest among them was a level 7 Undying God King. What kind of concept was this? A million devouring dragons with the weakest being a level 7 Undying God King. This was simply terrifying. Roar, roar. Excited roars could be heard from the devouring dragons as they swayed their huge bodies. The Mechanic Emperor domain was their paradise. After over 20 hours of flying, they arrived at the secret base of the Creator. Prime Minister Turtle, Wuxia, and the rest entered the soil, tore open the space, and entered the crack. Dragon King! Wuxia transformed into his human form and shouted excitedly. His eyes lit up as he stared at the mechanical world, and he almost drooled. Come over. Wang Xian's voice resounded, and the group of devouring dragons flew over immediately. Wuxia, your devouring dragons are in luck this time. There's a body of a creator here. Most importantly, there's the energy core of a creator. Tianjin said to Wuxia with a smile. Wuxia couldn't help but let out a roar as he flew over excitedly. The group of devouring dragons opened their mouths and followed behind. Distribute the resources here, and let the devouring dragons devour them. Wuxia, come over here. Wang Xian said to them. Dragon King. Wuxia flew to Wang Xian's side and called out with a smile. Feel the energy here. As Wang Xian spoke, he passed the mechanical heart to Wuxia. This is... Wuxia took it over and was thrilled. Such a majestic energy. I feel that it's much more than the giant body of the Creator. Huff huff. He was burning with excitement and his breathing was rapid. Can it be upgraded by another level? Wang Xian asked. Dragon King, it should be about the same. Wuxia said excitedly. Upgrade it. There's still a body of a creator in the castle over there. The energy it contains isn't any less than the giant body. Wang Xian chuckled. Yes, yes. I'll distribute the resources here and upgrade it immediately. Wuxia replied hurriedly. Dragon King, there are so many treasures in the Mechanic Emperor domain. Wuxia flew over and exclaimed in shock. The upgrade of the devouring dragons was already terrifying enough. Wang Xian did not expect it to be upgraded to another level. The resources of the entire Mechanic Emperor domain for billions of years, other than those that were consumed, should have been obtained by us. Wang Xian chuckled. After the devouring dragons receive a huge upgrade, our Dragon Palace can head to the Chime region and annihilate the demons there. At that time, the Dragon Palace will receive another upgrade. Moreover, the demon lair that we obtained from the Chime region should be able to upgrade our Dragon Palace. Prime Minister Turtle said with a face full of joy. Let's upgrade the devouring dragons first. After that, we'll return. Wang Xian nodded. The upgrade of Wuxia and the rest would allow the Dragon Palace to reap the resources of the entire resplendent starry sky. It would allow the overall strength of the Dragon Palace to be upgraded once again. This time, the expedition to the Mechanic Emperor domain is the right choice. Wang Xian looked at the surrounding devouring dragons devouring the mechanical world, and revealed a smile. The billions of years of accumulation of the Mechanic Emperor domain would all belong to the Dragon Palace. Seeking monthly votes. Chapter 2935, Demons, Monsters on Beep Beep Beep. Life Backup rebooted. Beginning data backup. Backup successful. Just as Dragon Palace was improving rapidly, in the vast void beside the Mechanic Emperor domain, in the center of a meteorite, a ray of light suddenly shone. A robot opened its eyes, and data flashed. Soon his face was filled with hatred. Dragon King, Dragon Palace, I want you to pay the price. A roar came from his mouth. His body shook, and cracks appeared on the meteorite. My body is only at the third order Immortal God King. Even a meteorite can't break it. A voice filled with unwillingness rang out. I want revenge. Pung pung pung. The meteorite slowly cracked open, and a slightly worn-out robot walked out of it. It looked very wretched. Who would have thought that this was the creator of the Mechanic Emperor domain? A stray dog. The Mechanic Emperor domain was completely wiped out by Dragon Palace. It wouldn't be long before the Mechanic Emperor domain ceased to exist. Time passed day by day. Wang Xian and the rest were in the secret base of the creator, quietly waiting for the devouring dragon to improve. But at this time, something that Wang Xian and the rest had not expected happened in the Liuli region. Retreat. All living planets in the Liuli region retreat. The domain master is holding off the 4 evil god emperor leaders. Let's retreat quickly. In just a few months, the Liuli region had undergone huge changes. 2 months ago, the Liuli region massacred the invading demons, killing a large number of demons and evil god emperors. But just as they were about to chase all the demons out of the Liuli region, a huge demon den appeared, and more than 20 evil god emperors appeared. But what they didn't expect was that not long after, another 3 huge demon dens descended on the Liuli region. There were 4 leaders in the 4 great demon dens. Every leader had the strength of a third-order god emperor. These 4 leaders were called Qi, Mei Ho, and Ho by the people of the Liuli region. Qi, Mei, Wang, and Liang were the strongest existences they had seen in the Qi, Mei, and Ho. The 3 great devil dens gathered together, and the 4 great leaders immediately led all their evil subordinates to attack the Liuli region's army. When close to 100 evil monarchs appeared, everyone in the Liuli region revealed a shocked expression. Without the slightest hesitation, the domain master led everyone to retreat. Retreat! Half of the Liuli region was evacuated. Furthermore, the entire Liuli region had entered a state of emergency. All the life planets were evacuated to the distance. However, during that escape, the domain lord was still heavily injured in order to resist the 4 leaders of the evil spirits and monsters. After evacuating half of the Liuli region, before they could do much preparation, the 4 terrifying devils' dens rushed over again. This time, the Liuli region did not have the slightest intention to resist. Run! On the fighting ring, countless experts stared at the position in front of them in horror. The leaders of the 4 great demons besieged the region master. The 7-colored glazed stone revolved around the domain lord. She held the ruler in her hand, and streams of terrifying water flowed towards the 4 leaders of the demonic beasts. The 7-colored glazed stone was the treasure of the entire Liuli region. The entire Liuli region had only produced 1 7-colored glazed stone. The 7-colored glazed stone was forged by the 5-colored glazed stone, on behalf of the domain lord. Relying on these 2 treasures, the domain lord was able to stay alive under the combined attacks of the 4 demonic beasts. Even so, against 4 beings of the same level, he could only hold on for 1 to 2 hours. Fighting for 1 to 2 hours for all the experts and disciples of the Liuli region to evacuate. There's not enough time. Our domain lord can't hold on for long. I will summon my own god nation and abandon the fighting ring. All soldiers, enter my god nation. The first Supreme Elder looked at the situation in front of him and roared with a bitter expression. First Supreme Elder, the demonic beast's army is already charging over. We still have tens of thousands of life planets humans here. At this moment, an anxious voice was heard. At this moment, Although they were not facing the attacks of the demonic beasts directly, the suffocating pressure made their faces pale. Pass down my orders. Send 100,000 undying god kings to summon their god nations and bring the humans from the life planets into their god nations. The first Supreme Elder roared with a solemn expression. Yes. The surrounding soldiers responded in unison. Who? The Domain Lord said he can only hold on for an hour. The demonic beasts behind us will arrive in less than an hour. We have to evacuate as far away as possible within 40 minutes. Around them, more than 20 god emperors stood at the side with an ugly expression. No one had expected the situation to turn out this way. We've already retreated to the center of the Lioli region. Where can we retreat to? One of the god emperors growled. Keep retreating. We can only keep retreating. If the demons keep attacking, we have to prepare for a great escape. At that time, we might need all the god kingdoms of the god kings and god emperors to help the people of the Lioli region escape. A second-order god emperor realm expert from the Lioli region said gloomily. Everyone, this is the final preparation. The teleportation array between the Lioli region and the sacred region has been activated. Hong Fengyan said to the experts from the Lioli region. Hong Fengyan was one of the god emperors sent by the sacred region to support them. However, the sacred region experts did not expect such a situation. If this unsolvable situation continued, the Lioli region would probably be completely finished. But once the Lioli region was finished, the sacred region would be threatened by the devil region. Inform the people of the Lioli region to head to the planets near the sacred region's borders. If there's an emergency, use the teleportation array. The first Supreme Elder immediately ordered. Yes. One of the god emperors nodded. Very soon, the Lioli region abandoned their battle platform. First Supreme Elder's god nation carried countless soldiers and disciples and retreated to the rear. 3 days later, the demonic beasts occupied 3/5 of the Lioli region. Half a month later, the demonic beasts occupied 4/5 of the Lioli region. 1 month later, the Lioli region was almost completely occupied. Countless people from the Lioli region gathered at the border of the sacred region. The demonic beasts stopped their attacks and were absorbing the spoils of war in the Lioli region. The Lioli region's people had lived in the starry space for countless years. At the border, there were at least a few 100 million planets squeezed together, very close to each other. The surrounding void was filled with god nations, god masters god nations, god kings god nations, and even the void god emperors god nations. The people in the god nations were all from the Lioli region, more than 1 trillion people. One of the devil's dens actually headed straight for the planet to devour. Rumble! The huge planet was slowly swallowed into the demonic den. Soon, a series of roars came from within the demonic den. Roar! 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 Not long after, a displeased roar came from within. The 2 demonic dens stopped in the void for a few minutes and quickly flew towards the sacred region. Not good. There's news from the border of our Lioli region. 2 demonic dens have appeared and are likely to chase after us. Soon, the news spread to all the god emperors in the Lioli region. In the boundless void, the god emperors who were flying towards the sacred region with their planet god nation narrowed their eyes and had an ugly expression on their faces. Our Lioli region has fallen. 2 demonic dens have appeared in the place we escaped from. I wonder if they will invade us. At the sacred region's battlefront, the first Supreme Elder's expression changed drastically when he received the news. He clenched his fists tightly. At the side, the sacred leader of the sacred region was also a little nervous. Even if 2 demonic dens invaded, it would still be a tragic war for them. I hope they won't continue to invade after occupying Lioli region. A few god emperors said with an ugly expression. If they invaded, they wouldn't be able to stop them. Once they come, we have to be prepared to fight to the death. The first Supreme Elder said with a gleam in his eyes. He had a bad premonition in his heart. The demons of Chi-Mei region fed on all kinds of treasures, resources, and lives. Although their Lioli region was invaded, almost everyone escaped, and all the treasures were taken away. In the Lioli region where there were no humans to feed on and no treasures or resources to feed on, the demons might chase after them and hunt them down. Chapter 2940. Sweeping across the Lioli region 3-inch ha, I've broken through. I've finally broken through. An excited roar resounded. Within the secret base of the Masters of Creator, the 35,000-meter-tall devouring dragon let out an excited roar. Its huge body exuded a savage and bloodthirsty aura. That terrifying dragon head, 18 razor-sharp claws, and huge body were like a monster from the depths of the universe. Congratulations, leader! Congratulations, leader! Below, the million devouring dragons roared loudly. TSK, 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 the combat power of a fourth-order god emperor. Such a terrifying aura. I feel that roving crab's gaze can make me tremble. Emo Shah said enviously as he looked at roving crab, who was exuding boundless majesty. You're 3 levels lower than roving crab. You have no way of resisting him. Tianjun said to Emo Shah with a smile. Dragon King. At this moment, the excited roving crab transformed into his human form. He came to Wang Xian's side and greeted him respectfully. Very good, very good. Avoid fourth-order god emperor. Should be an invincible existence in this resplendent starry sky, Wang Xian said with a smile. Hee. This is all thanks to the Dragon King and the brothers from the Dragon Palace for giving all the resources in the Mechanic Emperor domain to us, the devouring dragons. After we get out, we'll immediately help the brothers sweep through the demon region and get all the resources for them. Roving Crab said with a smile. Seems like you still have some conscience. Orochi and the rest said with satisfaction. Let's go. We've been here for a long time. It's time for us to get out. Wang Xian looked around. All the machines in the base had been devoured by the devouring dragons. Nothing was left. Yes, Dragon King. Everyone nodded their heads happily and immediately flew out. Wang. They tore open a spatial crack and returned to the void. Let's go to the Lioli region. It should be settled there, Wang Xian said as he looked around. Huh. But just as he finished speaking, he felt the communication stone plate in his mother nest vibrating violently. He raised his eyebrows slightly. The secret base built by the Masters of Creator had isolated all kinds of signals with a special material. Now that he was out, all kinds of information were displayed. Wang Xian took out the communication stone plate and realized that many people had sent him messages. Zhan Fa Wudi, Hong Fengyan, Shang Water God Emperor Region Master. That brat, Invincible Battle, also sent me a lot of messages. At this moment, Tianjun also exclaimed in surprise. This is... When Wang Xian opened the messages, he was slightly taken aback. Invincible sent him over 100 messages. The last message was, Boss Wang, I'm already crying. Please reply me. If you don't come back soon, you won't be able to see me anymore. I'm going to die. The domain master had sent him dozens of messages, and so had Hong Fengyan. Looking at the messages, his face was filled with astonishment. The Devil Territory actually conquered the entire Colored Glaze region. 4 great devil dens, Qi Mei, Wang and Liang, the 4 third-order God Emperor realm leaders? Wang Xian said with a surprised look. At the side, Prime Minister Turtle and the others were also shocked. There's actually such a powerful existence in Qi Mei region? They were slightly surprised, but soon, Yamada Devilish and the rest were excited. Great! The stronger the evil creatures in Qi Mei region, the more resources they could get. Dragon King, the Colored Glaze region is in grave danger, Tianjun said with a slight frown. Wang Xian nodded. I'll contact Invincible Battle and ask him about the exact situation. As he spoke, he immediately contacted Invincible Battle. At this moment, at the battlefront of the sacred region, Invincible Battle and his senior sister stood there quietly, waiting for all kinds of news. Ahahaha. All of a sudden, Invincible Warrior jumped up in excitement. At the side, the soldiers and experts from Colored Glaze region, who were shrouded in sorrow and fear, jumped up excitedly when they saw Invincible Battle. Anger was written all over their faces as they glared at him. Second senior sister also looked at him with astonishment. I finally contacted Boss Wang. I finally contacted him. Sob, sob, sob. At this moment, Invincible Battle roared excitedly. Second senior sister, who was at the side, was shocked. Subsequently, her face was filled with excitement. Boss Wong, you finally replied. Do you know that Invincible Battle misses you so much? I really miss you. Invincible Battle looked at Wang Xian on the screen of the communication stone plate, and was so emotional that he almost cried. Scram, stop being disgusting. Hurry up and tell me what's the situation in Colored Glaze region. When Wang Xian heard Invincible Battle, he immediately replied with a disgusted expression. Boss Wang, we're in big trouble. The entire Colored Glaze region has been occupied by the evil creatures. We've already escaped to the sacred region, but behind us, there are 2 devil's lairs chasing after us. There are still many people from Colored Glaze region who haven't escaped here. The situation is very dangerous now. Boss Wang, what's the situation on your side? We thought you guys were ambushed by the Mechanic Emperor domain. Help Boss Wang. Colored Glaze region can't hold on any longer. They're no match for the evil creatures from the Chimera region. Now there are 2 third-order God Emperors in the 2 Devil's Lairs. I estimate that there are about 50 other God Emperors. If they come here, we're finished. The Sacred region and Colored Glaze region are preparing to fight to the death here. We can't let the evil creatures occupy the Sacred region anymore. Invincible said with an excited look on his face. Is the situation so critical now? When Wang Xian heard him, he raised his eyebrows slightly and asked. It's urgent, Boss Wang. Hurry up and come over. If you're late, you'll have to collect my corpse. Invincible Battle said loudly. All right, ask your master for all the information about the Chimera region and send it over. I'll send members of the Dragon Palace over immediately, Wang Xian said after pondering for a while. All right, Boss Wang, all right. Invincible Battle nodded immediately. Ha ha ha. Boss Wang said he'll send experts from the Dragon Palace over immediately. Let's go inform Master and the rest. Seeing that the video call ended, Invincible Battle immediately flew towards the center. Second senior sister also followed behind with a face full of excitement. Around them, the experts and soldiers from the Colored Glaze region were excited. Hope had come. With the arrival of the Dragon Palace, they should have no problem withstanding the attacks from the 2 Devil's Lairs. Master, Boss Wang has sent a video call. We've contacted Boss Wang. The Dragon Palace will send members over immediately. In the center of the battlefield, a group of God Emperors sat quietly. Invincible Battle's voice made all of them stand up immediately. Their eyes were filled with hope. Chapter 2941. The tremors that swept through Lioli region with ease. 4-inch Woody. Are the Dragon King and the others coming? You've contacted the Dragon King? They're all right. Can you make it in time? In the middle of the battlefront, 7 to 8 Emperor gods stared at unrivaled John Fa with fervent gazes as they asked agitatedly. Yes, Boss Wang just sent me a video call. I have reported the situation here to Boss Wang. He said he will send someone over now. Invincible looked at the group of God Emperors staring at him, and immediately grinned. Is everything all right with the Dragon King and the others? The Domain Master instantly teleported to the side of Invincible Fighter, and asked with some excitement. Hee Territory Lord, what could possibly happen? I told you that with the strength of the Dragon Palace, it would be a piece of cake for them to destroy the Mechanic Imperial Domain. When the experts of the Dragon Palace arrive, wouldn't it be a piece of cake to destroy that evil? Invincible lifted his head slightly and said with a smile. Good. It's good that the Dragon Palace is fine. It's good that the Dragon King and the others are fine. If the Dragon King and the others can rush over now, there might still be a chance. The Domain Lord said excitedly. Buzz. Just as the Domain Master was speaking, the communication stone plate on his body vibrated. When he saw that it was a message from the Dragon King, his face was filled with excitement. Dragon King said that the people from Dragon Palace will be here soon. Seeing this message, he clenched his fists and immediately explained everything about the current situation. He also reported the current situation and the situation of the demons in the Chi-Mei region in full detail. After sending it, he anxiously waited for the Dragon King's reply. Territorial Lord, don't be anxious. As long as the Dragon King and the experts from the Dragon Palace are here, it won't be a problem to resist the two Devil's Lairs. The first Supreme Elder walked over and said to the Territorial Lord, with the strength of the Dragon Palace and our strength, it won't be a problem to resist the two Devil's Dens. But I don't know if we can get here in time. The Domain Lord's expression changed. The Dragon Palace has a teleportation formation that leads directly to us. If the Dragon King and the others can rush over immediately, it shouldn't be a problem. The Sacred Sovereign heaved a sigh of relief as he spoke. All right, I hope I can make it in time. The Region Lord nodded nervously. This was related to the life and death of trillions of people in the Lioli region. The situation over at the Colored Glaze region is extremely critical. Prime Minister Turtle brings 6 Third Order God Emperor Realm members of the Devouring Dragon clan and return to the Dragon Palace with Roving Heavens and the rest. After that, hurry over to the Holy Region and rendezvous with the others from the Colored Glaze region. I'll bring the Sky Array Roving Crab and the other Devouring Dragons to the Colored Glaze territory and clean up the demons there. Then, I'll go to the Enchantment territory to take a look. When Wang Xian saw the message from the Territorial Lord, he immediately ordered Prime Minister Turtle and the rest. It's Dragon King. Prime Minister Turtle and the rest nodded their heads. They looked at Roving Heavens and the other God Emperors and gestured to them. Go, Roving Crab, kill more demons for us. Be careful, Dragon King. As the leaders of the Dragon Palace spoke, their figures slowly disappeared and returned to the Dragon Palace. The Berserk Dragon, the Arrow Dragon, and the Imperial Dragon followed them back to the Dragon Palace. In the void, there were only Wang Xian's celestial formation, Roving Crab, and his million subordinates. After absorbing the machines in this secret base, the weakest Devouring Dragon had already reached the 8th level of the Undying God King realm. This was definitely a terrifying existence. The 8th level of the God King realm was considered an expert in the entire resplendent starry sky. If they joined a force, they could easily obtain a few hundred or even more habitable planets. They were definitely at the level of an overlord. However, among the million Devouring Dragons, they were indeed the weakest. There were 155 First Order God Emperor Realm experts. There were more than 5,000 Pinnacle God King Realm experts. What did that mean? The Imperial Court had hundreds of millions of years of history, yet there were only 50 to 70 Pinnacle God King Realm experts. Even the witches only had this number. The strongest Pinnacle God King Realm expert in the Colored Glaze territory had more than 200. Impossible. And there were more than 5,000 Devouring Dragons. The reason why the Devouring Dragons could increase by 5,000 was related to the uniqueness of the Mechanic Emperor domain. The robots in the Mechanic Emperor domain did not consume much energy unless it was a war. Secondly, for the robots to possess the destructive power of a Pinnacle God King Realm expert, the amount of resources required was terrifying. This was because they could not cultivate like humans. The resources of a Pinnacle God King robot could allow 6 to 7, or even more Devouring Dragons to reach the Pinnacle God King realm. As for those huge battleships that could destroy a Pinnacle God King realm mechanical planet, they contained even more resources. The robots would not die. They had accumulated their strength for billions of years. If it was the Imperial Star domain, if humans did not die, the Imperial Court would have 5 to 6,000 Pinnacle God King realm experts in billions of years. Moreover, the Mechanic Emperor domain was much larger than the Imperial Star domain. Every place was controlled by the robots. Chapter 2944. Everyone from Dragon Palace. What are they doing? When the Devouring Dragon and the other 5 rushed out, the God Emperors and Territorial Lords of Lioli region were slightly shocked and shouted, Prime Minister Turtle, tell them not to be rash. The demons are much stronger than us. The Territorial Lord's expression changed drastically as he hurriedly said to Prime Minister Turtle. Even though he had already sensed that the Dragon Palace member was a Third Order God Emperor, there were 2 demon leaders and more than 50 God Emperor demons in front of them. As long as they could hold off the demons, it would be fine. It was too dangerous for them to rush over recklessly. However, before he could finish his sentence, 6 incomparably terrifying roars rang out. Hiss, this is? The territorial lord quickly looked forward and took a deep breath. His face was filled with shock. This. The surrounding god emperors also revealed a look of shock on their faces. The 6 roars came from the 6 members of the Dragon Palace who had rushed out. However, at this moment, they had undergone a huge change. The 6 of them had transformed into hideous monsters that were 30,000 meters in size. It was 30,000 meters long, had 18 terrifyingly sharp claws, a hideous and terrifying head, and a long tail like that of a divine dragon. A savage, bloodthirsty, and violent aura exuded from their bodies. The 6 members of the Dragon Palace charged towards the army of demons, and demons ahead of them. They could immediately confirm from the aura of the 6 members of Dragon Palace. That was the aura of a third-order god emperor. All 6 members of the Dragon Palace were third-order god emperor realm existences. This shocked them to the core. 6 third-order god emperors. Tsk. The 6 of you. Don't let any of these demons escape. Kill them all. Baki stood at the back, feeling the aura of the devouring dragon, and roared enviously. Roar, roar. The devouring dragon in the middle let out a low roar, and looked at the other 5 brothers. An incomparably violent voice came from their mouths once again. Their roars completely covered the roars of all the demons in front of them. At this moment, the demons from the 2 devils' dens seemed to have been cast with the body-freezing spell. They stared blankly at the 6 devouring dragons that were attacking them. They could feel the berserk, bloodthirsty, and savage aura emanating from it. It was as if they were completely insignificant in comparison to it. Hey! The 2 leaders, Yao Xiemei and Yao Xiawang, felt the aura of the devouring dragon and the rest, and let out a slightly panicked roar. Hey! However, when they saw the 6 devouring dragons charging towards them, they could only give the order to attack. Roar! The innumerable demonic beasts in the 2 great devil caves, and over 50 god emperors, suppressed the fear in their hearts as they charged towards the 6 devouring dragons. You're courting death. Don't leave a single one alive. One of the devouring dragons let out a low growl. It looked at the demons that were attacking them with disdain, and raised its head. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. A black ball condensed in their mouths, and shot towards the demons in front of them. Bam! 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 When the sphere flew out, the black sphere immediately exploded. The entire sphere actually split into small insects with earthy yellow bodies and pitch-black wings. Those insect race beings had razor-sharp teeth, as they swarmed towards the demon army with all their might. GG. The bugs let out sharp cries. Roar, roar, roar. Countless demons let out bloodthirsty roars as they charged towards the bugs. Roar, roar, roar. Roar, roar, roar. But soon, tragic cries could be heard. Boom. At this moment, the 6 devouring dragons had already charged in front of the countless demons. Their bodies trembled. Black soil appeared out of thin air, and shrouded the void within a radius of 1 billion kilometers. This part of the world was completely shrouded. Within this radius of 1 billion kilometers, illusory bugs filled the air. Mystic ability space. The moment the 6 devouring dragons charged, they used the mystic ability space. The strongest attack. Roar. When the mystic ability space shrouded the void, the 6 devouring dragons charged into the group of demons. Their gigantic bodies and terrifying claws waved about. Within a radius of 100 million kilometers around them, all the demons and evils were instantly struck by terrifying attacks. Roar, roar, roar. Roar, roar, roar. One by one, the demons were unable to put up any resistance under their attacks. The dozen celestial emperors at the front were specially taken care of by one of the devouring dragons. Their sharp claws swept across and sliced the celestial emperors in half. Destructive energy rushed into their bodies. Roar, roar. Tragic cries could be heard, and it sounded exceptionally tragic. GG. All the attacks seemed to have just begun. When the mystic ability space was formed, The earth and darkness elemental laws condensed into bug race beings and swarmed towards the demons. In an instant, the number of bug race beings condensed by the earth and darkness elemental laws seemed to be more than the number of demons. The difference in number seemed to have been reversed immediately. Roar, roar, roar. Tragic cries could be heard throughout the void. Hey, hey, hey. Roar, roar, roar. When the two leaders, Yao Xiamei and Yao Xiawang, saw this scene, they revealed a look of fear.